In your ministry, like, what has been the the best way that people have supported you? In your ministry, like, what has been the the best way that people have supported you, supported your music?
Hmm. Well, luckily there are plenty of ways to support music ministries such as ours. I mean, there are the obvious ways. You can come to a concert and you can buy a CD and you can talk to us, and those are some of the things that we absolutely love to do. But some of the ways we've been supported have come in the smaller, more behind the scenes ways, especially when we were first starting out and we didn't have a lot of extra income. You know, people were asking us to travel all over the country, get on a plane, drive several hours, and we just didn't have that kind of money to slap down $1,000 for a plane ticket. And so some people supported us behind the scenes by sponsoring our flights. When we arrived at destinations, they let us stay in their guest house or their guest room. Some people have come to concerts with baskets full of food. You know, some of those are just a couple examples of the unexpected ways that we've been supported. And God continues to surprise us every single time. So obviously, you can support ministries and musicians financially, but if you're not able to give in that way, then you can listen to our music on Spotify. That's a free way to support us. Or you can just attend a concert and tell the musicians how much their music meant to them and how much it blessed them.
Yeah, I understand that you have done quite a lot of touring and concerts before. You're just mentioning that they people will fly you out to their places and you will stay at the guest house and you'll perform at their churches and things like that. Is there any strategies that you've used to kind of like manage those type of uh, because I talk with a lot of musicians, a lot of them they that side of the ministry, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of investment in to make it work like a well-oiled machine. So is there any systems or any approaches that you use to make that easy for yourselves?
Well, I wouldn't say it's easy. nothing, not, not,
Easier.
nothing about life and ministry I would say is easy, but everything that we've been able to accomplish and have been doors that have been directly opened by God. I mean, our first year of ministry, I didn't think we would be very busy at all. You know, that first year, it wasn't intended to be full time. It wasn't supposed to be the way we paid our bills. It was just something originally that we wanted to do on the weekends for the Lord. Um, but so those first few gigs we got just from having friends that were pastors, you know, personal contacts, and you know, you can't beat the benefits of just good old fashioned networking.
Hmm.
Um, but but over the years, as those opportunities have gotten bigger, you know, as we've been able to do camp meetings, evangelistic series, 3ABN, you know, those are some of the things that I can't really take credit for because those were absolutely God opening doors.
Right.
But I think the number one thing I would say to other musicians that are trying to book their own concerts like we often do is to just not be afraid to be told no, because you're going to be told no a lot, and
Hmm.
it's okay. You know, it doesn't mean God has abandoned you. God will still provide for you, and he will still open the doors that he wants you to walk through, and that's certainly what he's done for us.
May I add to that? Yeah. So I love what she said. Like, it's okay to be told no. But for other musicians out there, I was like, just invest the time to reach out. And like, yeah, don't be afraid to say no, but don't be afraid to reach out. Period. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
find some Adventist directory, find someone's email. Go ahead and take that leap of faith because it is that. It's a big old faith exercise. You know, like what if they say yes? What if they say no? You know, who knows what's going to happen? Only the Lord knows. But you take that leap of faith and you truly put it in God's hands. Never roll out God.
Mm.
because
Hmm.
he always has a funny way of more than exceeding your expectations. And sometimes it is okay, like, there are times of feast and famine that happens. That's okay.
Hmm.
But yeah, never ever rule out God. And if you get told no a lot, that doesn't equate failure at all. Doesn't mean that. God is going to open the door that He needs you to open, and He's going to have you walk through at that specific season of life.
I like how you said that it's okay. If it's a no, then God has something better in mind. Yeah. For those people who are just starting out in music ministry, what advice would you give them?
I would say, from both of us having gone through music school and having acquired several degrees in the subject, I think we would both agree that it's important to practice your craft, and it's definitely very important to love what you do, practice it, keep trying to improve and get better at it. But there's a big difference between being a good musician, being being good at making money doing music, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
that is the hidden gem. That one. I mean,
Yes.
it's the treasure that a lot of musicians want to somehow get into. So
And of
um,
course, being in ministry, money isn't our ultimate goal, but
sure,
but
sure.
but but over the years, this ministry has become the primary way that God allows us to pay our bills. And I
Yeah.
don't think any of that would have happened if I hadn't taken a music business class in graduate school and
Uh-huh.
learned how to build a website, learned how to use Logic Pro, learned all
Right.
all of
Yeah.
these different skill sets that I, thought didn't apply to me as a musician, but somehow apply even more in the everyday ventures of life.
And look at that. That investment has paid off. Now you have got almost four albums, right, that you have released because you have invested the time to figure out how that side of the business works. So is
Exactly.
is there any like uh, resources or anything you'd like to leave our audience in terms of music business? Have you created anything to help with that side of um, music?
We haven't created anything per se, but I would say if you have the ability and you're a musician who loves making music, find a way to download any music software of your choice, whether that's MuseScore or Logic, and just play around with it. You if you don't have the resources to take a music business class, that's okay. A lot of our best sounds and ideas from the album kind of came by accident. And so just find something that you're curious about and start learning and start playing with it, and who knows, you might make something amazing.
And to add to that, speaking of businesses, network and always ask for help. Like, don't be so full of like your own self, your own ability, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's never really our ability. It's God working through us, right? God. In order for God to work, we have to, give Him room so that He can work, right? You can't work if you're
Yeah.
full of yourself, that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
reach out. Talk to someone, find other musicians, find other people in your group. Could be musicians that are better than you, could be musicians that are significantly worse than you. It takes a village,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mhm.
we're all in this together, right? We all want to be one body at the end of the day. Like, we kind of have to think about that a little bit. We're all a part of one body, and we all got
Yeah.
to work together. And we can learn all kinds of cool stuff from each other, right? Like, even
Yeah.
music by itself, like the cultural stuff within music is insane in a very beautiful, beautiful way. It's like, oh,
Hmm.
I like how they did that. I want to learn more about it. So then you reach out and you talk to them and you see, like, I really like it so much. I'm going to incorporate it in my own playing. Well, now you're doing something you've never dreamed about doing, and you would never have known that if you never reached out to that person.
Yeah, it reminds me of something I usually say, which is like, we're going to be able to go much farther together instead of just trying to do it by ourselves. So Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that point about networking because that's what really this podcast is about because we really want to help musicians get their music out there and to be able to share the music, to be able to get more interest from churches and church members to be able to share their music out there and to promote the music so it can be effective and so people like yourselves can be self-sustaining. I mean, that's ultimately what we want for musicians. Amen.
Amen.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, so thank you guys so much for coming on the podcast. Is there any other questions that you wish that I had asked you?
I can't think of anything from the top of my head.
No, this has been great. Thank you
Great.
so
It's been
much.
a lot of fun.
Also, I'm glad that you had a lot of fun. So did I. This was a really nice conversation. And I hope that you have learned a lot about music from Andrew and Darby's story. And make sure to check in again on the next episode of Adventist Music.